So we're making a start on this. We're reading this on our book club on Sunday in Rengil's Discord community. So it's taken us a little while to start. We're just going to read the introduction and the poem. So it's Wordsworth Classics, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. We're not reading Through the Looking Glass yet, though, but we will read Alice's Adventures in Wonder. That's a hard one for us. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And we will have it completed by Sunday. But this time it's a completely intuitive flow. Consciously planned intuitive flow. We haven't even done the thumbnails or anything yet. So the back of the book, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, with an introduction and notes by Michael Irwin, Professor of English Literature, University of Kent at Canterbury. This selection of Carroll's works includes Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and its sequel, Through the Looking Glass, both containing the famous illustrations by Sir John Tenniel. No greater books for children have ever been written. The simple language, dreamlike atmosphere, and fantastical characters are as appealing to young readers today as they ever were. Meanwhile, however, these apparently simple stories have become recognized as adult masterpieces and extraordinary experiments, years ahead of their time in modernism and surrealism. Through wordplay, parody, and logical and philosophical puzzles, Carroll engenders a variety of subtexts, teasing, ominous, or melancholy. For all the surface playfulness, there is meaning everywhere. The author reveals himself in glimpses. General introduction. Wordsworth Classics are inexpensive editions designed to appeal to the general reader and students. We commissioned teachers and specialists to write wide-ranging, jargon-free introductions and to provide notes that would assist the understanding of our readers rather than interpret the stories for them. In the same spirit, because the pleasures of reading are inseparable from the surprises, secrets, and revelations that all narratives contain, we strongly advise you to enjoy this book before turning to the introduction. General Advisor, Keith Cabine, Roughford College, University of Kent at Canterbury. So we're not going to read the introduction at the start, we're going to read it at the end. We have read it silently in our head because we read it silently in our head first. Because this isn't a general, typical conventional audio book. This is a Shintosai healing tool methodology. So there's much more Shintosai healing frequencies in this. Contents. Author's note. Chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. 2, The Pool of Tears. 3, A Caucus Race and a Long Tail. 4, The Rabbit Sends in a Little Bill. 5, Advice from a Caterpillar. 6, Pig and Pepper. 7, A Mad Tea Party. 8, The Queen's Croquet Ground. 9, The Muck Turtle's Story. 10, The Lobster Quadrille. 11, Who Stole the Tarts. 12, Alice's Evidence. Author's note. Inquiries have been so often addressed to me as to whether any answer to the Hatter's riddle on page 91 can be imagined, that I may as well put on record here what seems to me to be a fairly appropriate answer, viz., because it can produce a few notes, though they are very flat, and it is never put with the wrong end in front. This, however, is merely an afterthought. The riddle, as originally invented, had no answer at all. Christmas 1896. There is the intention that we will edit this as well if we get round to learning the new editing software. I'm not sure if our laptop can cope either, but then that's just the intention. We never really know because there's so many So much going on. So now for the poem at the start. All in the golden afternoon, full leisurely we glide, for both our oars with little skill by little arms are plied, while little hands make vain pretence our wanderings to guide. Ah, cruel three, in such an hour beneath such dreamy weather, to beg a tale of breath too weak to stir the tiniest feather. Yet what can one poor voice avail against three tongues together? Imperious Prima flashes forth her edict to begin it. In gentler tones Secunda hopes there will be nonsense in it, while Tertia interrupts the tale not more than once a minute. Anon, to sudden silence won, in fancy they pursue the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new, in friendly chat with bird or beast, and half believe it true. And ever, as the story drained the wells of fancy dry, and faintly strove that weary one to put the subject by, the rest next time, it is next time, the happy voices cry. Thus grew the tale of Wonderland, thus slowly, one by one, its quaint events were hammered out, and now the tale is done. And home we steer, a merry crew, beneath the setting sun. Alice, a childish story take, and with a gentle hand lay it where childhood's dreams are twined in memory's mystic band, like pilgrims' rivered wreath of flowers plucked in a far-off land. We do love the little poems. And so for the healings, we read this in the bath, the introduction in the bath yesterday, and there's already so many synchros and everything coming in. There's lots that happened in the Wizard of Oz for us, and there's already going to be lots for this. And I think what just came to us earlier was that it's about going down the rabbit hole, isn't it? The darkness. And we went to a party once and didn't understand the concept of going down the rabbit hole, because we hadn't read any of these books when we were younger. And so this is really going to take us on a journey. I mean, already she's in a blue and white dress, but we've watched a couple of videos on it, and it's originally she's in a red dress. And it's interesting because Alice, Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz is in a blue and white dress, and she originally had silver shoes, got changed to red shoes. So there's little things like that really stand out. We're really doing the silent sound healing on seed syllables of the chakras and Shintosai color healing internally. So it's quite magical, everything that's coming together. So we're just very quickly gonna do tarot card and an oracle card, because we do like doing these for our littles. And when we come back to, so we'll just have like the one, which will be like a theme for the book, and whether we do them for each read or not, we don't know. It will be a read along with us. We'll find the PDF and we'll share the screen, put the PDF up, so that it can be a read along with us as well. We thought we had them, but I think we deleted them off the web page. So we have to read it. So we split it into three lots of around 45 minutes to an hour. But we might end up doing it in 2 sittings rather than 3. But we have to read it silently in our head first, so before we do the aloud reading. But we want to kind of get it done by Saturday. So we're going to pick a card. And then if any tarot cards want to come out of their own accord, or we'll pick, oops, there we go, we'll pick these too. There we go. So the spectrum of energies we're dancing. Oh, it's so wonderful. We had this ink block. This is why it's all intuitive, actually, today. We were on a group with Ice Squire Steph on ink blocks yesterday. And so it's very ink blocks, abstract minds. So the logical linear This will bring us back into the logical linear and integrate the two hemispheres again as our expansiveness and contractiveness of consciousness and the shifting happens. And there's big shifting going on at the moment. And the card that jumped out at us earlier was 13, Transformation with the Caterpillar, which is 13 is a death card in the traditional tarot. So 10 of Hedgehogs. We don't actually know this one fully yet, but we're going to make a guesstimate that hedgehogs are pentacles, because they're circular like pentacles, and hedgehogs are very earthly. Hedgehogs are cool, actually. We were watching one not long ago. And one of teacups. So we're going to guess. Key cups normally are, well, cups are normally emotions and water. So Ace of Water is the conscious, aware, seeing spectrum of energies we're dancing in. New beginnings on emotions. The Ace of Cups and the Aces and the Pages come together, but for us the Pages are more the new beginning of like a teenager, early adult energy where you're stepping out on your own with your identity, whereas the Aces for us are more of a birthing, creation, baby kind of fresh energy, real pure and innocence. So that's a spectrum of energies we're dancing in. It's the one vibration. We've got the 10 and the 1. So in the Tesla code where you go 1 round to 9, back to 1 again. So the 1 vibration's big. 10 is karmic completion. The 9s have been coming up for a lot, which is completion in the physical, tangible reality. 10 is the karmic completion in the unseen, untangible realities. And so 4 cards have come out with us there, so we'll read them in a minute. But it's badgers. Badgers came up. The oracle card that we've got for this today. Apologies for the speaker there. 43, manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. Manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. All of these pictures, actually, it's quite an interesting oracle. She looks a bit kind of sad and haunted in all of them. 43, manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. I wish I could manage to be glad, the Queen said. Only I never can remember the rule. You must be very happy living in this wood and being glad whenever you like. The Queen is almost berating Alice, imagining her to be happy whenever she wishes, thinking that the business of being happy is simple. As the Queen, she feels it is not simple for her, but she wants to manage to be glad, except, as she says, she cannot remember the rule. Is there a rule to happiness? Is there a way to manage to be glad? When this card comes to us, there are 2 possibilities, just as there are 2 slithy toves in the painting. So they're called slithy toves, that are kind of like badger-like creatures. The first is that others assume your life is simpler, easier, and that happiness comes more readily to you. There is the implication they have it harder and must struggle to be happy. So we're just going to read that again because we like to change it around so that one takes ownerships of the statements. And so when we say us, it refers to you and us, rather than us just projecting onto the other. The first is that others assume our life is simpler, easier, and that happiness comes more readily to us. There is the implication that they have it harder and must struggle to be happy. This is not the case at all. Our happiness has been earned. In some ways, we have created it by directing our thoughts and impulses toward the steady creation of happiness. The second possibility is that we must learn how to be happy. Having joy in our lives is not just good fortune, circumstance, or temperament. It comes through the careful management of our thoughts and deeds so that we nurture the possibility of joy and move ever closer to happiness. Worm, Tito Popo, tiny nomo. Tito mo, tai, Tito momo, Tito papai. Okay, just this once. That's not a cat. Do not let others steal our joy or imply that being joyful means we are not as serious, deep, or hard-working as they are. Happiness is often hard-earned. We must find it amidst the most troubling of challenges. Alice has learned to do this despite being lost and everything around her being so unpredictable. We too can manage our manage our happiness and defy those who claim it is more difficult for them. We can all do this no matter our lot in this lifetime. It's really interesting. So we're doing our galactic calendar journey. This channel is all about we on our community post we put the animal totem for the month in the Mayan galactic calendar, so we do something related to that, and we're just on music at the moment until the dog animal totem finishes. Can't remember what it is on this one. I think it's Dr. Dog. But so for today, it's Blue Overtone Monkey, if we've remembered correctly. And it's really weird because we came up live then on the thingy. Yeah, Blue Overtone Monkey. And blue, today is the Heart Chakra Day. It's Global Rainbow Bridge Day. So we put a big rainbow around the earth and around us and everything individual. But the Thursdays are about the Heart Chakra, green. And Blue Monkey is the throat chakra. And the throat chakra then for us was really deep clearing going on. And so for us, the heart chakra is the green, that's the daily energy. So that's the external body that connects us into the external reality, where the constructive feedback loop of information comes in and out of the senses. And then that's the objective, and then the subjective is the internal. So it's the blue in the green. And we've already done our, like we said earlier, our chakra color light meditation. So that was wonderful to have that. That's why we've come on to do this live sporadically. So if we just quickly look, what is it on this channel that we did on the post? On Mani Padme Hum is on Joy to Coco for the chant of the quote. Slaughter Beach Dog Gold and Green is the music that's on for today. So divination. Our happiness is in our own hands. It is something which can be managed, nurtured and grown. Acknowledgement that life can be very difficult and challenging, but we are being asked to grow the happiness we long for, out of our magical will and desire to feel joy once again. Reversed, a belief that happiness is easier for others who seem more fortunate and have been given blessings we have missed out on. Believing that happiness is an act of fate rather than a disciplined way of thinking and behaving. Feeling happiness is out of reach. Focusing on the sadness rather than the bliss that can be created. So there's some wonderful lessons learning in that one. And we hold both aspects in us. We have quite a few aspects in us, but we resonate with all of that. And there's ones of us attempting to teach the ones that hold our trauma that are very little these lessons. Thank you for saying thank you, Worm. We're really grateful for that. You're awesome at that, aren't you? We love you, your little Zen sibling. You come join us. Now you've had your fill. And so the cards that have come out on the tarot is the Knight of Teacups. So the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Emotions. It's a flamingo umbrella there. That's just connecting us. We're not going to really read this. You can read it for yourselves. Knights are the messengers. It's the movement. So there's a movement in the emotions. So flamingo's head on an umbrella. It's connecting us impersonally to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and autism, and umbrella situations with the fascia and the connective tissue, which is what we work on. Cups, if cups are emotions, we're guessing maybe that flowers could be wands, because flowers don't suit for swords. So we're going to guess that flowers are wands. So we've got the Queen of Wands there, which is creativity. So that's wonderful. Yeah, there's movement in emotions to spark the creativity of the feminine energies and the birthing and the creation. Four of Hedgehogs, Four of Pentacles. That's normally the hoarding in the tarot, but we don't read the conventional tarot. So for us, 4 is about grounding, foundation, determination, perseverance. So the foundations and the grounding has really been developed to handle the new movements of water that's coming in with the 1 and 10 vibration, where the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end, where you have that linear logic, but you've been able to expand out of the conventional societal linear logical mind into understanding the right brain creative circular over the linear, where the polarities, the opposites of the line, come together in the circle and become one and the same thing of the paradox. And so there's experiential understanding of that, and the intellectual linear comprehension is coming from that abstract creative comprehension. And then we've got the 9 of teacups, the 9 of cups, having a blank of that one in the tarot at this moment, but again, it's the 9 of cups. It's this physical completion and the tangible relation in the tangible reality of emotions. So the long journey that we've been on to understand our emotions and allow our emotions to teach us through challenging experiences, where we're aware in the present moment of our emotional behaviors that we might not necessarily like about ourselves, but we're able to stay awake rather than go back to sleep, and we're able to be compassionate to ourselves, because it's only when we can show ourselves true compassion through all the different aspects of self on this archetypal journey that we can then show compassionate share compassionate space and show compassion for others without being the rest, going into drama triangles and being the rescuer or the victim or the perpetrator or the parent or the child. It was just you're allowing space for whatever is, allowing others to be and allowing you to be, and it's all done through the energy. And we've had another great lesson of that again yesterday, where someone is offering to be the rescuer for us, and we don't need rescuing, we can rescue ourselves. And we're grateful for the experience. We had our little one's emotional energy come up first and be reactive, and we've been chatting ourselves through it. Worm, you're not up on... Okay, we thought you might have nicked Zen's treats on the work surface. And so now it's actually, no, that was a beautiful challenge and lesson to be presented with the same narrative again. And we don't have to go into the victim ones of us, of like, why does that happen? Why do we attract that? We don't have to go into the teachers ones of us and go, well, why do you feel the need to offer that? You're not seeing the other aspects of us. We don't need rescuing, we're rescuing ourselves. Why can't you just allow us a space to be? And we can just put the narratives aside and go, yes, thank you for that lesson. We have actually been able to vocalize our needs. It's interesting that we were offered that from the person whose energy we found most reflective on a challenging level, which is the amazing lessons to learn, and how we've managed to progress through it so quickly and not take it all personally, and not go into the voids, not go into the dark rabbit tunnel of the vortex and the rabbit hole, but understanding that void is it can be all encompassing, and that void can feel like we need to fill that void. It's like empty space that we need to fill with whichever vice it is that we have. But when we are able to organize and restructure the energy in a certain way, we realize that actually that space in yoga, it's about creating space in the body. The more space there is, the more energy there is, the more conductivity there is, the more... we haven't got the words for it yet, because we're just transitioning into this experience in the collective energies that we are in, because we have individually, ones of us have had this experience, but we've not collectively had it together to then find the words that work for all of us so that we can be impeccable. So I think that's actually a beautiful ending to end on. The knights are number 11 for us, the queens are 13, which add up to a 4, and we've got the 4 and the 9, the 10 and the 1. So 13 for us is the feminine and the whole. The knight is the 11. It's the central channel, the Sushumna of the emotions. You've got the 10 and the 1 of the spectrum of energies we're dancing as well, which equal the 11. So yeah, wonderful. And we've got the 43 So the queen could be a 3 if you multiply 1 and 3. And so we've got the 4 and the 3 with the queen, 4 of pentacles and 4 of hedgehogs and queen of flowers. 4 pentacles and queen of wands. Let's just have a quick look to see what swords would potentially be then, as we split it on the empress. How wonderful. Those are major arcanas. Teacups, 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 hedgehogs. What is we don't seem to be able to. Should we get the book out? Spears. Yeah, that makes more sense. Spears would be more like swords, we would have thought. It's easy to find. Oh, look, see, we've already highlighted it. We've been here before and highlighted it. We have no recollection of this whatsoever. Flowers are fire. They are wands. Well done, guys. Communication, creativity, travel, and inspiration. Hedgehogs are earth. Pentacles, security, career, duty, and home. Spears are air. Swords represents action, judgment, power, and intellect. And that's the other thing. Judgment. Yeah, we don't need to judge a situation. We can just be. It is what it is. Teacups, emotions. It should water emotions, cups, emotions, relationships, and personal connections with family and friends. So that was wonderful. So we'll see you later if you join us on the lives, or we'll see you later in the future videos if you join us. And we hope you enjoy. And maybe at a future date we will edit it into a more real audio book. But we're going to go and repot some plants and go on a walk before reading the next few chapters silently, to hopefully come back and read live this evening. But we can't guarantee about any of that. It will just be, we'll be going live over from today to the next few days at some point. Bye.